I'm Nate Hall in Lexington, Kentucky, and I've been with Symmetry Financial Group for just a little over 6 years now. Came from an 11-year career in the auto industry, was a sales manager, finance director, ran a 3-car franchise store. It was high pressure, high stress. We were breaking records, but we were always expected to do more and more and more. And while that's great, you watched a few people make the lion's share of the money while the rest was spread out between everybody else. And it was great experience, but I kind of got tired of making other people a lot of money. I had a 2-year-old daughter, and the first 2 years of her life, I really wasn't very present at all. My wife was in nursing school at the time, so our schedules were stretched thin. We had a nanny, and we realized we're not raising our own child. And of course, we had another one on the way when I joined Symmetry. I didn't want to go through that again. I said, enough is enough. I've got to get out of here. And it was funny. It's become a family business because I watched my dad about 9 to 10 months before I did join Symmetry off a Craigslist ad. I watched the freedom that he had, and I watched the money that he was bringing in. And I went to him and I said, I want in. This is for me. I was actually able to replace my entire income that I would make in 1 year in the auto business. I would make in 8 months here. Here, I could work 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week, and it would feel like an absolute vacation because I was still at home the majority of the time. I would go out in the field a few days a week, 3, maybe 4 days a week, and the rest of the time I was home. That's one of the best surprises, is how much you're able to actually control your schedule. The biggest piece of advice I could offer anybody that gets a career in this business is you work when it's time to work and you play when it's time to play, and you don't intermingle those. You need to keep them separate. There's work time, there's playtime, and playtime here is just as important as work time. If I look at my schedule, I've got playtime for the kids scheduled, I've got oil changes for the car scheduled. My life is a schedule book. Now, there's always a little flexibility. That's the beauty of being self-employed. But when you can be real disciplined into a schedule, this becomes so much simpler. I don't know of anything better. I really don't, where you can come and make the money that we make as quickly as we can. But not only that, the feeling that we get when we take care of families and when we help other agents. I mean, it's great to teach an agent how to do this. It's really hard to replace that feeling when you've helped a family better their situation. What we do has an impact that could impact generations of people. And that's a really powerful thing. I couldn't think of a stronger why than the family. And that's what brought me here in the first place. And that's what keeps me going, because I will not let them down. When I've got the family involved and when they're reliant on me to be successful, there's no failing that. There's no plan B. I burnt my ships years ago. There's no plan B for me. So having that kind of positive pressure on yourself will push you through anything you need to. One of the most amazing things I've ever seen is the leadership of this company get together. They got the leaders together, the owners together, and within 2 weeks, we did a 180 on how we conducted business. We went from in-home, in-person sales. I had never done a sale any other way. It's always been in-person, in-home. That's how we're trained. That's how we train others. It's just the way it's done. And all of a sudden, we're going to use Zoom. We're going to do sales over the phone. I didn't think that was even possible. And I was nervous. I was cautiously optimistic, and I'm telling you, within a couple weeks' time, we were right back at it where we were. I mean, we didn't even miss a beat. And in fact, the freedom that I've gotten from not having to drive anymore to homes, even when things are lifted, when things are back to normal, I don't see changing from this model where I can sit in front of a computer and connect with the family just like I'm sitting in the comfort of their own home and still take care of them the same way that we always have. That is unbelievably powerful. And I am just so grateful and so proud to work with a company that pivoted on a dime. It takes me about a third of the time to make the same or more than it did before coronavirus hit. And a lot of our agents can say the same thing. Not every agent has been successful with virtual sales, But the ones that have really put their head down and worked at it, I mean, the sky's the limit. The ropes are off, the chains are off. They can go work when they want, where they want, and talk to whoever they want. That's impressive. Now, I've always been told that the insurance industry, when done right, is recession proof. I never got to experience it until this year, and nothing is more true. This is truly a recession proof industry. And in the 21st century, that's a big deal.